Have you ever loved someone so deeply that even death couldn't break the bond? That's what happened to Uche, a poor carpenter's son who fell in love with the one girl he could never have. And when she was murdered, the whole village blamed him. In the quiet town of Mbano, there lived a poor but brilliant boy named Uche. He was a carpenter's son, always covered in sawdust, always working. He had no friends except the wood and the tools. But Uche was in love. Her name was Chisom, the daughter of the local chief. Light-skinned, soft-spoken, always surrounded by rich friends. She never noticed Uche, not once. Until one rainy afternoon, when her father's jeep broke down in the market square. Uche helped fix it. She thanked him. That smile? It changed Uche's life. Weeks passed. She began to greet him more. They started talking. Slowly, they became friends. Then something strange happened. She started coming to his workshop at night. They would talk for hours. Laugh. Cry. Fall asleep beside each other. One night, under the moonlight, she whispered, "I want to marry you." Uche thought it was a dream. But it wasn't. They kept their love a secret. Her father would never accept a poor carpenter's son, but Uche didn't care. He promised her, "One day, I'll build you the biggest house in this town." And then, she disappeared. No calls. No messages. Nothing. 3 months later, Uche heard it in the news. Chisom had been murdered, her body found floating in the sacred river. But that wasn't the worst part. When they pulled her body out, she was wearing Uche's shirt. The whole town turned against Uche. How did his shirt end up on her body? Why was she last seen going towards his workshop? The police came for him the next morning. They beat him, dragged him through the mud, and accused him of murdering Chisom. Even her father spat on him. "You are cursed! You touched my daughter and now she's dead." But Uche didn't cry. Not when they locked him in the village cell. Not when they paraded him like an animal. He just whispered, "She loved me. I didn't kill her." He stayed in jail for a month until the autopsy report came. She was pregnant. The doctor said she was 3 months gone. Suddenly, everything changed. Rumors spread. Was it Uche's baby? Did someone else kill her to cover it? Her father stopped talking to the press. The police quietly released Uche at night. But the village had made up their mind. He was a murderer. A ritualist. A monster. Uche returned to his empty workshop. But something wasn't right. Every night, at 2:13 a.m., he would hear her voice. "Uche? I'm cold. I'm still here." He started seeing her reflection in mirrors. Footprints in the sawdust. Her perfume hanging in the air. One night, he found her favorite scarf folded neatly on his bed. He broke down. "If you didn't die by my hands, who killed you?" The next morning, he dug a hole behind his workshop. He found something buried there. A white cloth, soaked in blood, with strange symbols. Uche couldn't understand what he was seeing. The bloody cloth, the symbols. Who buried this behind his workshop? He went to the only person who might know. Old Mbano, the village herbalist. She looked at the cloth and went silent. Then whispered, "This is ritual blood binding. Used to silence spirits. Whoever did this wanted her soul trapped." Uche's heart froze. "She's not resting." Mbano shook her head. "She's stuck. That's why you still see her." He told her about the voice. The scarf. The footprints. Mbano began to cry. "This isn't just murder, Uche. It's spiritual imprisonment." She prepared herbs. Lit candles. Began prayers. Then she stopped. "Do you know who owns this land?" Uche replied, "No. My father gave it to me before he died." She looked up, trembling. "This land used to be part of the chief's ancestral shrine. Your workshop sits on blood." Uche couldn't breathe. The chief, Chisom's father. Was it a coincidence? That night, Uche dug deeper. He found more. Small bones. Cowries. A baby doll with pins stuck inside. "Oh God! What is this place?" He screamed. And from the shadows, he heard her voice again. "Uche, it was my father." Uche sat in darkness. The land he built his life on. The love he gave everything for. All of it was built on blood. Chisom's voice echoed in his ears. "It was my father." Uche couldn't sleep. The next morning, he visited the chief's compound. He knelt in the sand. "Sir," he said, "I need to talk. Alone." The chief came out, looking older than before. Tired. Heavy. Uche stood up. Looked him in the eyes. "Why did you kill your daughter?" The chief froze. His guards moved, but he waved them away. Then, in a voice filled with sorrow, he said, "I didn't kill her. I offered her." Uche blinked. "What?" The chief looked away. "It was a covenant. My grandfather made it. The shrine needs blood, especially from the chief's bloodline. Every generation." He sighed. "But I couldn't kill her myself. I asked the elders to make it look like a robbery. We buried the truth and her spirit." Uche fell to the floor. "You sacrificed your own daughter. You were never supposed to fall in love. That love ruined everything." The chief turned and walked away. "She's not angry with me," he said. "She understands." Uche whispered, "No, she doesn't." That night, Uche went back to the workshop. He lit candles, burned the blooded cloth. He poured holy oil everywhere. He prayed, and as midnight struck, the ground began to shake. Chisom appeared again, but not as before. Her eyes were red. Her voice cracked. "You were never the cause, he was." Then she let out eerie screams, and the workshop burst into flames. When the villagers saw the fire, it was too late. Uche's workshop was gone. But he survived. Barely. He was pulled out by Mbano, holding nothing but a half-burned photo of him and Chisom from months ago. Nobody remembered taking that photo. The chief was found dead the next morning in his palace, lying on the same white cloth Uche had burned. His body twisted, mouth open, eyes wide. Whispers filled the village. Some say they saw Chisom's ghost walking out of the palace that night, holding a child. Others said they heard drums playing from the old shrine. But one thing was clear, the curse was broken. Weeks later, Uche rebuilt the workshop. Simple. Quiet. He never remarried. Never moved. Never left. People still came to him for help. For carpentry. For advice. And sometimes, they'd hear a girl's laughter in the back room. He would just smile and say, "She still visits." Years passed. And the story of Chisom, the girl who loved a poor carpenter, the girl betrayed by her own blood, became a quiet legend in Mbano. But what most didn't know was that every year, on the day she died, a white scarf appears at the foot of her grave. Neatly folded. And beside it, fresh sawdust. Because love, even when buried, leaves a mark.